Hello, QVS World Geography students. Welcome to Essential Unit 1, Week 4. And this is it. This is the last week in the unit. So I wanted to take the opportunity to walk you through the project for this week so that you can understand what is required in closing the unit by the end of this week 4. Okay, so let's go to the course page and I'll kind of take you or walk you through the end of unit project. So in Essential Unit 1, we really studied some basic geographic features with the 5 themes in week 1 and learning how modern maps are made in week 2, even moving further into how the Earth is structured and how climate and vegetation are impacted by the structure of the Earth. And then last week, we took a look at some more human features related to the geography of the Earth with the using maps and charts and graphs to look at diffusion of religion, looking at population and how to create population pyramids and how you can learn features of populations based on the structure of the pyramids. Then finally, we got into some political and economic geography. In week 4, your main assignment and only assignment for this week, for that matter, is the Essential Unit 1 project. So I'd like you to go ahead and open up this project. And here is where I outline for you what you need to do to finish up this unit. And I'll kind of walk you through it. And then if you have any questions for me, you can contact me in Skype or through email, and I'm happy to answer any of the questions that you might have. So by the time you've reached this activity, you've learned about so many geographical aspects of the world. As I said, in week 1, we looked at the 5 themes. In week 2, you studied climate, the physical features of the Earth, vegetation. And in week 3, we looked at some human features of the Earth, including culture, political, and economic features. In this activity, or in this project, I should say, you're going to be responsible for pulling together all of these factors. And in order to do so successfully, kind of follow the instructions that I have outlined below. You are required to make a video recording of a presentation that will demonstrate mastery of the above concepts through the application of them to a region of the world. That's why I have a map right here of the different world regions. And as I said, you have to make a presentation. Now, your presentation can be in whatever platform you are comfortable using. For example, what I'm doing right now, I have a PowerPoint presentation and I'm using Screencast-O-Matic. There's a link to Screencast-O-Matic right here. It only lets you make 15-minute videos, but your presentation does not need to be longer than 15 minutes. And or if you want to do something more fun, you can create what's called a Powtoon. So these are my 2 suggested platforms that you can use, but you're welcome to use any other. Like if you like Prezi and you want to make a Prezi, then you can use Prezi. But you are going to have to make a video recording of yourself presenting all of the information that you've gathered together for this unit project. You have to begin by choosing a region of the world. So I have a map here for you, but I also have outlined them here. You have plenty to choose from. You can pick a region that you're very comfortable with, or you can pick a region that you would like to learn more about. Either is fine with me. After you choose the region that you want to focus on, you have to create a presentation where you include at least one of each of the following. Within the context of your presentation, you have to have at least one map, at least one chart, at least one diagram, and at least one graph. Along with each, you should provide an explanation of the significance of the data that's presented on the map, the chart, the diagram, and the graph. The geographic data can include any of the following, like any of these features that we studied over the past few weeks. It can be population. It could be cultural features, like if you found a map of the region that outlines like some of the different religions that are practiced there. It could be a diagram that outlines imports and exports for the region. It can be a graph that shows GDP levels among countries in the region. It could include political features, climate, vegetation, physical features, you name it. The geographic data that you find can present any and all of those features of the region that you are investigating. Then in your presentation, you have to include these 6 items. Begin by explaining the location of the region. Now, this could be absolute location and relative location. So you can give me specific degrees, latitude, and longitude, and then you can even tell me where it is in relation to other places in the world. You need to be able to describe the physical features of the region. So talk about some of the more prominent landforms in the region that you have chosen. You need to describe the cultural features of the region, like any and all of the following. You could talk about the history of the region, some of the important belief systems that are practiced there, perhaps even take a look at the language that is most influential or common in the region. So for like example, if you chose Latin America, you could talk about why most of the people in this region speak Spanish, and that largely has to do with Spanish colonization of the region in the late 1400s. So those are some cultural features. Then you have to present population data of the region. You can create another population pyramid, if you like, of the different countries in the region, and then conduct an analysis of each of the population pyramids. That would be completely suitable. I would suggest that you use that same population pyramid generator that you used in the other activity that we did. But I essentially want to see some population data on the region so that you can draw conclusions as to whether or not the country or region is growing, whether it's growing at a steady pace or if it's in population decline. Then you need to present political features. What are some of the political challenges in the region that you are investigating? For this, I might suggest that you go to CIA World Factbook. That would be very helpful. You could compare the different political features of the countries in the region. Really, the ideas for how you will present political features are open and endless. And then you're going to end with economic features of the region. Like, what's the level of development for the region? Are some of the countries in the region more developed than others? You might even explore the different GDP per capita of the different countries in the region. All of this information can be found on the main resource that I put down here, the CIA World Factbook. And you've used this resource before to collect data for different countries within the context of the 5 themes activity that you did earlier in week 1. So that's the unit project. You have to choose a region. You have to create a presentation for that region. You have to have at least one map, one chart, one diagram, and one graph, and your presentation must include these features, okay? I'm not going to say a time limit. I've already mentioned screencast. So essentially your presentation cannot be longer than 15 minutes. And in fact, if you use Powtoons, you'll see that the presentation there will be even shorter. I would say probably anywhere between 5 and 10 minutes is something that you should strive toward. I hope you good luck in the creation of the presentation this week. And if you have any questions or need any help in terms of editing your presentation before you deliver it, I'm happy to help. Just make sure that you share it with me maybe early in the week so that you're not rushed near the end of the week to get the project done. That will be the final piece of your assessment for this unit. And then next week, we will move on to Essential Unit 2, where the focus will be North America. I hope you have a good week. I look forward to listening to your presentations soon.